Alright, hello everybody, welcome back to Rose Guns Days. Last time, surprisingly, Rose actually failed at something that she wanted to do, which is pretty interesting, but also kind of, if you read carefully the beginning, then it kind of makes sense, like, Julie didn't know, really about soy sauce, so it makes sense that it failed, and it's very interesting about the future world, because it shows that not much has really changed, from Rose's efforts, except that Primavera still exists. So it's very interesting to see in that regard, but, and it was all due to Wang's machinations of the fake soy sauce and everything. And, oh yeah, by the way, welcome to the stream, Apparition Lucas, Armagus T! Woo! And, more importantly, Meiju went and told Primavera, including the wandering dogs, all about her past. All about Zell's past, and now they're going to rescue her! Let's go, and welcome, Guffy Force. I am ready for more Chinese. Let's get back into it. Always starting one sentence before the save point, because that's just the way Rose Gun Days do. Hold on, just somewhere around here. Don't really like the looks of this place. Shh! Don't speak in Japanese. Yeah. The place indicated by Meiju's memo was deep inside Chinatown. It was far from the main streets, where many Japanese people walked. Yep, we just started the story, Mystery Theater. Welcome to the stream. You came right on time. Okay, Apparition, if you're really feeling not well, you should really get some rest. It's okay. You can always watch it later, okay? It was far from the main streets where many Japanese people walked. And though it was Japan, it was fully a little China, a foreign country. Though Chinatown was famous for being filled with people and things and bustle, this place was completely silent. The bustle of the main street sounded far away, and the strange feeling made it clear that this wasn't a place to walk around casually. This was a town where poor Chinese people gathered. People who had immigrated to Japan believing something would change for them, though nothing did. Oof. By the way, please tell me if the music is too loud or too soft. Because the three had grown up in alleyways, a feeling of tension enveloped them. They knew what that unpleasant feeling meant. Hold on, just rearranging things here. It's like whatever happens to you here, it's your own fault, huh? Shh! They're here. Let's be friendly. We're standing right inside their stomachs after all. The generic Mook Society attacks! 3 young, mean-looking Chinese men were blocking the path in front of them, grinning. Unsurprisingly, they didn't look like they were planning to let their prey escape. By now, 2 more of them were standing behind Oliver and the others, blocking their retreat. They knew that these 2 had been following behind them for a while. Okay, so this is a perfect spot for an attack.
Interesting. Looks like you don't need words to tell someone to give up their money if they don't want to get hurt.
We aren't here to fight, although we could totally kick your ass. We've got Lee Meiju's letter. And they're saying something. Oh, thank you, Guppy Force.
There's nothing here that you Japanese people will be interested in. If you want to leave peacefully, you better pay up.
I cannot speak Chinese! As I say that in English. What are you standing around for? Show him the letter already!
Yeah, I don't have it. I thought you had it. Oliver told me to give it to him. Well, I don't have it.
Oh, come on! What are we, the Three Stooges?
You're the one who has it. You just put it in your inside pocket, didn't you? I did, but then you pulled it out. You said I'd drop it for sure.
Ah, damn it! Come on! No getting around it! We gotta fight! Javo, I don't know what he's saying.
These brats really dared to look down on me. Let's show them a lesson.
Oh god, we could have gone the pacifist route, but now we got an extra battle on our hands. Hope we don't use any more resources than we need, though.
Generic Mook Society kick! Generic Mook Society flying kick!
God damn it.
Time for the roguish specialty. You punks can't beat me. Too fast. Oh yeah, well, let's see how you like a roundhouse kick. Hardly worth the effort. Take this, ruffians.
Okay, that's enough. I'm not gonna fight this time. Let's back off.
Whoa.
If the place had been more open, they might have been able to run away somehow. However, that wouldn't work in this narrow alley. Having heard the fight, several grim-faced men appeared and surrounded them. This wasn't a fight between kids anymore. They were clearly being surrounded by people in that line of business.
Well, I think it's okay. We leveled up after all. We grinded a bit in that area by the harbor, so we should be ready for these battles. Nina, did you remember to bring soy sauce to refill our MP when it gets low?
I thought you had it!
Oh, come on, not this again! Ah!
An older man who seemed to be their boss stepped forward. They're saying Chinese, and we'll know what they say later. Get that letter out, quick! Come on! The heck are you two doing?
It's Oliver, not me. He had it last. You grabbed it from me. You have the letter. You always put the blame on me, don't you? You did that with the Nikuman too, right? How? You blockhead! I'm not the blockhead, you blockhead! How dare you! How dare you!
Cartoon fighting sound effects. Oh, jeez.
Jaho. What the heck are these kids doing?
Oh, whoa, wait! I hid the letter. Ha! Here it is. What do you know? We could have avoided this whole encounter. At least we got some decent EXP out of it.
But I thought we were using milestone leveling.
God damn it!
That's right. Nina grabbed it last. Anyway, show it to them quickly.
And the old man from before said,
Who knows? It can't be that they just lost their way, can it?
Nina spread out Meiju's memo and held it out to them. They took it suspiciously and glanced through it.
Unbelievable. These kids are the boss's guests.
Thank you, Guppy Force.
He did say there were going to be 3 of them, but he never mentioned there'd be some kids.
They looked between the memo and the 3 faces. They didn't seem satisfied, but it appears that they couldn't complain when Meiju's name was brought to the equation.
Come with me, Japanese. I'll show you the way.
Is what he said there. As the older man said this, he spun around, signaling with his hand that they should follow him. As he did, the men gathered in the road opened a path.
Oh, I guess he wants us to follow him. Thanks to Nina, we almost got the crap eaten out of us. You owe me a Nikumon later.
Sure. As someone would get out of here alive. It wasn't as though they were being trusted and the circle around them had broken. If anything, it was as though the men had been told to treat this prey with care, since it was Meiju-san's. But that they must not let it escape. They were forced to walk round and round through a maze-like set of alleys. Eventually, they were led into a strange place that may have been an alley with a roof, or they may have been led to the corridor of a building at some point. The dimness and lonely light bulbs made it unclear whether this was above or below the ground.
Is that a Chinese knife? It's huge.
I seriously doubt this is a kitchen. Really did not think why they'd have so many creepy blades hanging in a place like this.
You scared? If you let them overwhelm you, it's all over. I've heard Chinese torture's pretty awful. They rip your skin off while you're still alive and soak you in salt and soy sauce, right?
If we weren't talking about humans, it'd almost get my stomach rumbling. And you read too much Game of Thrones. I heard Chinese tortures when they put a drop of water exactly in your forehead and strap you down so you can't move. But the water always goes in the same spot over and over and over again. Until it drives you insane.
Stop it, Nina. You're giving me the shivers.
That's just what I heard. I don't know if it's true.
Shh. Look, it's the GDS.
The person who had guided them was talking with someone who was clearly a member of the GDS. He then pointed this way, making a gesture as though handing the 3 over. And the guy said,
I heard from the boss. Follow me.
the man from the GDS said something, but not as though he was talking down to children. This treatment was much better than what they'd received so far. Apparently they've received contact from Meiju about having guests. The man crouched down and opened a trap door. They could see a ladder inside it. The man motioned for them to go down. This was clearly suspicious. It was like he was telling them to go into a dungeon. When they hesitated, the man urged them to go down quickly.
What do we do? If we freak out, we lose. Let's go.
Nippon, I don't know what else he said. It would be great if they had it in, if they had it in pinyin instead of the characters. But they're probably just keeping the original text. Because if it was in pinyin, I could actually make an attempt to read it, but...
Down below, there's someone who wants to see you.
Don't got a clue what they're saying. Except Collider does, because of Guppy Force. Because she's too badass. If only we could understand their words like Collider can. I've definitely studied in Chinese. Somehow we come back alive. And the guy said,
No need to be scared. Hurry up.
After readying himself, Oliver went down the ladder. Charles and Nina followed. At the bottom, there was a cramped underground storehouse, packed with pots and wood boxes and the like. It was apparently a semi-basement, since a small latticed hole let in sunlight and air from the outside. However, that didn't change the fact that it was almost pitch black inside. Before their eyes adjusted, the three of them hesitated, unsure of what to do. When they looked up, the Chinese man said something and started to close the trap door.
The boss will be here shortly. Wait over there in the meantime. Damn it! They were tricking us after all! They're planning to lock us in here.
I don't know who's saying this. No, he said to wait here until the boss comes. It could be Zell. Or it could be Shalon. They heard a voice from the depths of the darkness. The three were shocked for a moment. Yes, it was Zell! Woo! No, he said to wait here until the boss comes. Then they quickly realized it was Zell. The shadow slowly rose to its feet amidst the darkness. When the faint angled rays of sunlight hit Zell's face, the three of them dashed toward her.
Zell! Did they catch you too?
Anyway, this might not be the best place, but I'm so glad you're safe. Everyone, why are you here? We wanted to apologize to you, Zell.
Meiju told us about this place. Zell, I'm sorry. I didn't trust you at all.
I never knew. You had such a tragic past. Makes Oz look like a trip to frickin' Disneyland. My past.
Meiju told us about it. About you and your father. He told us your father was held hostage, and that they made you do terrible things.
We were horrible! And even after we called you our comrade all the time!
Couldn't trust you during the time we needed you most. Most. We're awful.
That's not true. If anyone's awful, it's me for deceiving you all. You weren't deceiving us! You just didn't remember anything!
We knew how tough it was for you once your memory came back. The life of one of your parents was on the line. Even I would surely have chosen my parent too in that position.
We don't have parents. That's why we know how important parents are.
You didn't do anything wrong! Nothing at all! I was the one in the wrong. We were.
A little bit of a typo there.
Anyway, we could never have forgiven ourselves without apologizing to you for that first.
Everyone. She had thought everyone would hate her. When instead they just suddenly showered her with apologies. She was completely taken aback and her mind went blank. The three of them started apologizing as though fighting to be the most apologetic, pressing their faces to the ground. You don't need to do that. Anyway, the floor here is covered with dust and probably some other stuff I don't want to think about. As their eyes adjusted to the darkness, they looked at each other's faces. Their foreheads, cheeks, and the tips of their noses were covered with dust, making them look sort of like clowns. Oh, you look ridiculous. Ridiculous. By this point, Zal's face was also stained black with tear marks. We couldn't ask you to forgive us after all this time.
Call us your comrades again. We'll never doubt you again. I won't eat Nikuman until you forgive us.
Wow. Holy shit. I guess Charles will die from hunger if I don't forgive you. Zal started laughing, tears streaming down her face. Then, all at once, the four hugged each other, bringing their heads together. They just laughed and cried and rubbed their faces together. When they'd finished, oh, more typos, they looked at each other's sooty faces and broke out laughing again. What are you doing in a place like this, Sal? I want to say father, but I didn't know what to do. When I was wandering around City 22, looking for some sort of clue, someone suddenly captured me. Why are you all here? That's thanks to Meiju. Meiju? Zal seemed to know the name, but not much else.
He's the leader of City 23's Chinatown. He and Madame Rose are close. Madame Rose called us over, and then Meiju told us about your past.
And then he told us about this place.
Still, there's no proof we hadn't fallen for a trap and got captured. I'd like to believe that isn't the case.
A second ago, the man upstairs spoke in Chinese, saying to wait for the boss to come. I hope that boss was Lee Meiju.
Huh? Shh! Someone's coming!
Not just someone. A whole bunch of people.
Oy vey.
It was getting noisy upstairs. They could tell that many footsteps and voices were getting closer.
We're obviously heading towards the chopping board. Get ready. If it gets nasty, I'll take at least one of them down with me.
Calm down. Let's sit and wait until the last second. They aren't going to treat us carelessly. And I can't imagine that they plan to kill us.
When you say that, I think my worries go away.
Without you, we wouldn't have gotten anywhere. Seriously. You're the one who holds our one brain cell.
Get behind us, Zell.
It still wasn't certain that the GDS was on friendly terms with them. The three stood in front of Zell, with Oliver at the very front, and readied themselves.
Wei. Something in Chinese.
It's most probably Lee Meiju.
Hey, come.
Oh, that's a random guy.
Hey, come up. The boss is already here.
What's he saying? He says the boss is here. He's telling us to go up.
Is Lee Meiju here?
I'll let you go up first, Oliver. Just like we always do, right?
Perfect. I'll show you what alleyway guts can do.
As they said this, a small face poked in from above the ladder. What are you doing? Hurry up. Shalan! Someone you know? Yes. She's been taking care of me. Of course, it was more than that. She had also been observing Zell. However, Zell knew well that she wasn't a bad person. This girl truly sympathized with Zell's past, and had been the only person in the GDS whom Zell trusted. If she is there, then I'm sure it's okay. Unless Wang got to her and we're all fucked. I'll go up first.
Hey, Zell.
Oliver tried to be their advanced guard, but Zell tapped his shoulder and went up the ladder first. At the top, there was a crowd of grim-faced GDS men, and what appeared to be a high-ranking VIP. Woo! Alright, it is him.
Please forgive me for grabbing you into a place like this.
Greetings, sir. I am Hotarubi, is what she said.
Japanese will be fine. I love the Japanese language. No tones to memorize. Also, Hotarubi is not your real name. Hotaru, Rapunzel. Which name do you prefer?
Zelzen. Woo! That's what my comrades call me.
Understood, Zell.
This was their first time talking to Meiju. But she may have seen his face before somewhere. Same mystery theater. I was really worried that it was Wang. Though she sensed an intellect not to be trifled with, she relaxed for the moment at his non-hostile atmosphere. Then the four of them were told to go inside to go inside bags. Bags? I guess they're being transported again. According to Meiju, he wanted to invite them to a place without anyone seeing, so there was no need to worry. Xiaolan also said that there was no danger, so Zell decided to believe them. The four of them obediently got into the bags, were lifted into a car or something, and were gently carried away. However, they weren't forced to stay in such a cramped space for long. As they listened to the bustle of Chinatown, they were lowered from the car and placed on the floor of some room. You can get out now. Hey everyone. She said we can get out.
Blah!
Huh? What's that What? Did we die and not notice it? A straight shot from hell to heaven. Wow! I bet it's Nikuman! Yes, I knew it! There's Nikuman and Chinese cheese snacks! Can I eat it? Oh, can I eat it?
Hey, try suspecting poison at least a little.
What's going on here? We couldn't help ourselves to all of this without knowing the reason. With a gesture, Xiaolan suggested that they have a seat. However, Zell apparently couldn't hide her confusion at this sudden change in treatment.
This is to make up for locking you in that cramped place. Nothing is poisoned. Please try some. Chinese cooking is far more delicious when it's hot.
Zell didn't understand what was going on. She thought she'd been captured because she failed in her assassination. I guess she didn't know about the factions within the GDS. However, if they planned on killing her to silence her, they should have many chances before now. So what was with this sudden change in treatment? She couldn't eat while she was this lost. Deciding to wait for Zell to let her guard down first, Charles and the others held back their hunger and peered into Meiju's face. Meiju's eyes narrowed and he smiled, so acknowledging that they weren't as kid-like as they looked. When his eyes opened again, a faint but definitely present coolness had returned to them.
Zell, my main reason for keeping you confined was that I didn't want you to die a dog's death. If I had left you alone, then you would have surely moved forward desperately on a hopeless bet. That would have been a waste. Quite a regrettable end for the oft-rumored legendary killer of Tokyo's Chinatown.
So, you want me for one more job? Is that it? At those words, the excited trio's eyes grew suspicious as well. Surely he wasn't planning to force the wandering dogs to attempt another assassination on Madame Rose.
It is as you guessed. I would like to ask Kota Ruby to perform one final job.
What do you mean by final? You don't need to be afraid. He's an ally. An ally? What do you mean?
There is a person I would like you to abduct.
Abduct? It was the first time she received a request of that kind. It sounded much more troublesome than killing. However, she didn't accept her father was dead. It might even be her father. Ooh, interesting.
The person you were to abduct is a Japanese man being imprisoned by the GDS. Saijo Ryukishi. Yep.
Huh?
I would like you to rescue your father. Wait! What's going on? I don't know. This is no time for idiots to interrupt. Then you should keep your mouth shut. Why, you.
Shut up, you two! Meiju-san, I don't understand the meaning of what you're saying.
Just Meiju would be fine, Zell. All those close to me call me that.
Meiju-san, then. Why would a member of the GDS like you request that the hostage father of a GDS pawn like me be rescued? If we did that, then I'd be happy, but it'd be extremely embarrassing for the GDS.
Indeed. And that embarrassment is what I desire.
It didn't make sense. They don't know about the factions, yeah. Why would Meiju, a member of the GDS, want to see the GDS embarrassed? There are quarrels even within the GDS. Xiaolan told them that there were factions within GDS and that Meiju had enemies on the inside.
Falling out between friends in the GDS.
Sounds too good to be true.
I'm dumb, so I don't get it. What does it mean?
In other words, if they failed in assassinating Madame Rose, and then Alota Ruby's father stolen away from on top of that, it would shame the GDS higher-ups. Is that it?
Precisely. The Council of Elders spent a very, very large sum of money to buy you. If such a purchase run away before they could make use of it, that would be quite a blunder. Oopsie.
To a Chinese person, a blunder is more shameful and causes more loss of trust than anything else. Xiaolan, can this person really be trusted? He can.
Don't deceive, woman. That's my policy.
Liar. You do it sometimes.
I gave you mooncakes afterwards, didn't I? I see you still hold a grudge.
With that peaceful seeming exchange of words, Zell relaxed her guard a little. Xiaolan had the temperament of a wild cat. She was extremely wary of people by nature. If she was letting her guard down this much, it may have been a sign that it was okay to trust this man a little. True enough to the Chinese, especially to people at the top of an organization, blunders can be extremely damaging. The person who had announced the outrageous plan of assassinating Madame Rose would probably suffer considerably. So he was offering to support Zell's rescue of her father in exchange for this. It sounds wonderful for me. But we have no guarantees for what will happen after my father is rescued. A blunder is a mistake. Luca.
This may sound harsh, but no one can make any guarantees regarding what happens after that. Your owners guaranteed your father's safety and a short, once-per-month relationship between the two of you. You've been released from that, so no one will be able to make guarantees regarding you two again. If you treasure your father, you ought to guarantee his safety yourself right now. Well, on a personal level, I do not want to be your enemy. After all, you are a legendary assassin, feared even by me. It would be quite troublesome if I angered you and had some poison mixed in my tea.
Meiju laughed. Zell looked down for a moment, thinking. There could be no doubt that Meiju was using her for his own purposes. Might really be a plan to shame someone, or could be the opposite. Could be a dirtier plan to send them off to rescue Zell's father, only to sell the information immediately before. He really did sympathize with you, Hotarubi. It's true that he wants you to do a job for him. He also wants to let you go free at the end. Xiaolan was an honest kid. Such a person said that she was convinced that Meiju wouldn't lie. The idea that he had skillfully tricked this honest kid and was using her as a pawn to gain my trust. That was possible. Who is mine? However, she refused this offer. She couldn't conceive of any magnificent plan that would result in her father's rescue. Even I have heard of the feats performed by the wandering dogs. Do you have any desire to lend a hand in rescuing this father of your comrade?
We do. We will put our lives on the line.
Oliver. But we're dumb. We can't trust that going along with your plan will end the way Zell wants. In the voice place. If you're telling us to trust you, that's not gonna happen. In the voice place, if you're gonna tell us to trust you, that's not gonna happen. Still, if this is our only chance to save Zell's father.
If Zell agrees, we'll put our lives on the line.
You guys.
You are fine, comrades. All that matters now, Zell, is whether you trust me or not.
Zell can't refuse. It's a dirty deal you've got for us. Meiju-san, I don't want to doubt someone like you, but, who has a close relationship with Madame Rose, but,
If you're planning to use Zell and then betray her, give it up. Even if we wandering dogs have lost Zell. We'll definitely find you and finish you off.
Damn, look at those freaking knives. They, like, seriously, she could easily have, like, Wolverine claws or something.
Don't worry, Shaolan. They only said it out of eagerness.
It's true. That I can't refuse, that is. Do I trust you or not?
And I must trust you as well. If you betrayed me and leaked news of this plan, I would be put in a dangerous situation.
Oh, well, that's true, if you think about it. By simply talking about this,
By simply talking about this, I've already placed my bet on you.
Oh, hello, Manea. Welcome to the stream, and but thank you for coming to say hello. I hope you're enjoying Mineko.
I'm already risking a lot. It makes sense.
And in exchange, we've got a chance to rescue Zell's dad. You'll let us have that, right? Right?
Indeed. This is a chance. I can give it to you. But whether it comes to fruition or not depends on you wandering dogs. However, if it is possible, I want you to succeed. After all, if you fail and are caught, I seriously doubt they could withstand the many tortures that have been passed down my people since ancient times.
Ouch. Oh, that's totally fine, Manea. That is a long, long, long thing. Seriously, don't worry about it. If that happens, and we give them your name or something, it'll probably get sticky for you too, right?
I will not command you to trust me. However, I want you to decide whether or not you will take this bet. You are free to refuse. However, if you do, you will end up being kept in that underground hotel until things cool down. Even if you accept, you will be under our supervision. Your contact with other people will be limited as well. Even I could not bear to be betrayed, you see.
So either way, we're prisoners.
I have already taken on a risk. I hope you'll give me a little credit for that.
Okay. We'll accept.
Are you sure?
Woo! Yes, we. But we'll build a plan by ourselves. The wandering dogs are back! Woo!
Oh yeah! My word, this is fantastic.
But we'll build a plan by ourselves. All we need from you is information. What you want is for Bowser to be rescued. And you don't care about the process or methods used.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to tell you that. Then get sold out and caught in a trap.
Of course, of course. You do not need to report all the details of your plan to me. However, if your plan is not successful, I cannot finish drawing my picture. Therefore, I will actively pass on and suggest any support and information that I believe might prove useful. Of course, it is up to you to decide whether to use that or not. In the end, you are the ones who will be putting your lives on the line. Details of that nature are no longer of concern to me. You should iron out a plan and prepare until you're satisfied. If you ask, I'm willing to provide further support.
If it comes to it, we would be most grateful. Then we are in agreement.
I'll assign Shaolan as a contact and observer between us. Shaolan, help Zell.
If you say so, I'll be happy to.
And with that, I ask that all you wandering dogs spend your time here as if it were your own home. I will get you anything you need. Of course, I'll be happy to offer piping hot tea snacks whenever you like.
Zell! It's okay now, right? We can eat now, right?
Charles' stomach made several embarrassing sounds. Totally ruined the tense atmosphere.
Charles? You...
Yeah, it's okay. Let's eat! Itadakimasu! We got to eat a bunch and build up our strength. That's right! Our enemies are the City 22 GDS higher-ups, right? Can't go fighting on an empty stomach.
You know, if we really pulled this off, it might make one hell of a legend, huh?
Hello, Hollow Mirage. Welcome to the stream.
Without a doubt. After all, you brought down the Council of Elders higher-ups. That would surely be a great accomplishment. Would it even surprise Wayne-san? Of course. It would surely be the greatest operations in the legendary night.
Wasn't the legendary night?
That was the huge thing where 7 people, including Aniki Wayne, attacked the Caleb family!
Ah, those were the days. Leo-san and the others worked out their plan to defeat Caleb at this very table. The legendary Leo Shishigami.
So Leo and Aniki Wayne had their planning meeting right here? Leo-san and the others who were here. At that time, I believe Wayne-san was...
I thought Wayne had been captured by Caleb, so he wasn't there.
Shh. Let them have their dreams. That is correct. Wayne-san was also here helping to build the plan.
The trio let out cries of admiration, running their cheeks against the table.
At this seat, Aniki Wayne planned the legendary night.
Whoa! become legends too? I sure hope so, but not for the wrong reasons.
Interesting. Damn, I'm shivering.
Vincent told us before, didn't he? Really? You think I was doing Meiju's voice differently? I'm sorry. The legendary knight may have seemed reckless, but it was done after careful planning and preparation.
Yeah, he said it. And then he said a carefully laid plan makes it not a miracle anymore. It makes it certainty.
Let's do it, Wandering Dogs. Zell's our comrade. We'll fulfill our promise.
Even if the whole world becomes our enemy, we're on Zell's side.
We'll save Zell's dad.
Oh, I did the Charles voice when Meiju was speaking? I'm sorry. I didn't realize.
No matter what.
After Charles' enthusiastic reply, his stomach made another embarrassing sound. The tension had finally faded, and everyone was smiling again. Meiju also wore a cheerful smile and proudly offered tea snacks to the wandering dogs. Alright, wasn't much fighting in that chapter. Oh wow, I got a new type of award here, straight flush. Guessing that has to do with which cards I picked. Oh, hello, Parkov. Oh my god, I welcome to the stream. I hate to say this right now, but I need to take a little bit of a bathroom break. I will be right back. Alright, so thank you. So hang tight, you guys. All right, and we are back. Sorry about that. Beyond the window was the inky blackness of night. However, there were dazzling dancing jewels scattered about. The nighttime scenery, illuminated by gorgeous Chinese-style lighting, might in itself be considered a form of Chinese art. Here we go.
You see, I think of this night view as the accumulated art of my people.
True. Oh, Rose is here. I think it's part of the soul of your people, with prosperity and countless personalities mixed together.
And the night view of the American areas in City 23 is filled with their soul. Of course, I'm aware that the Japanese soul exists in 1-liter glass bottles.
Dang. Oof.
After all that's been going on, I'm so very sorry. I heard you were trying to make soy sauce popular, Rose-chan, and I just wanted to support you. My mistake. Oh, I really must apologize. I was only trying to help.
Wang spoke casually, as though trying to smooth things over without a hint of malice. However, if there's no universal truth in war, only the results written about are truth, then the truth in this matter was clear. Wang-san, let's do away with this farce.
You sure? I sort of like this tone now. Okay. Let's both get back to work.
Thanks. The joviality vanished from Wang's face, and the dignity and calm of a powerful leader returned. The pair returned to their table and sat down. Their soup was now cold, and the delicious food adorning their table felt plain somehow. Is this your message to us, in response to us not showing you respect?
What do you think?
God, I hate it when people say that. It pisses me off so much.
Did you get what we were trying to convey? I do hope your understanding goes beyond mere anger at us for getting in the way of your soy sauce business.
It does.
I see. Well, that's good. Explaining things to fools is the one thing I'm bad at.
Oof. He is so condescending.
This is our power. It is because we have respect for Japanese culture and lifestyles that you're able to live as you do. In the end, hegemonism is what rules this world. The strong swallow up the weak. As a result, their dominion expands without end. However, governing a large area is extremely difficult. Powers eventually decline and split.
Like the Roman Empire, or even ancient China.
Our ancestors understood this well. If they expanded their territory too far, it would eventually become impossible to maintain.
If a territory grows vast, it comes in contact with more and more neighboring countries, and gets longer and longer borders that are subject to military tensions. To a large country like China, the individual neighboring countries are no trouble. However, they were determined at all costs to avoid trouble breaking out at multiple points at once. Some people say that this is why they thought up the system of Chinese tribute. They made neighboring countries show their respect, in exchange for which they respected their neighbors and acknowledged their culture. As a result, the two countries formed a bond of mutual respect, and military tensions relaxed considerably. It's said that Chinese return gifts were greater than what they received, and this became a financial burden for them. However, it was probably much cheaper than spending money on the defense of their immediate national borders. In other words, there was more to the Chinese system of tribute than simply demanding respect to satisfy their own conceit. It was also a security guarantee that was useful to a country with such large territory.
Let me be clear. You were only able to be Japanese as a reward for the respect you showed us.
Exactly, Mystery Theater.
Why do you think our country, with 10 times the national strength of yours, decided not to destroy the troublesome island nation that blocks the interests of the Pacific? Why do you think we allowed you to preserve your unique culture? It was because we believed you Japanese respected us as your cultural fathers. However, if we were mistaken in that belief, that changes everything.
You mean we'll be forced to learn the things we've taken for granted? Were actually gifts from you to us.
Exactly.
Wang smiled with an immensely calm face. It felt more cold-blooded than any expression he's shown so far.
Madam Rose, if you're not a fool, then you should already understand my power.
That's right. Over the space of a year, Primavera had built a modest utopia based on mutual support between countrymen. Now, thanks to nothing more than the distribution of fake soy sauce, that utopia had struck a moral hazard, which had resulted in city folk and businesses being driven by commercialism. This was already beyond the scope of soy sauce culture. Chinatown's distribution network was already sinking its teeth deep into the Japanese areas, thanks to purchases of fake soy sauce. One after another, people were tossing aside Madame Rosa's request that they prioritize deals with their fellow countrymen. They couldn't reject Chinese merchants or their cheap goods in massive supply, something as idealistic as mutual aid between countrymen. In distribution, the ones who monopolized and gained more control survived by kicking out the rest. Eventually, the Japanese distributors would go extinct, or else they transform into mere pipes for the Chinatown network. The Chinatown network. A little bit of a typo there. To liken this to a sick person, it was as though they had stopped their own heart and attached their blood vessels to a mechanical heart outside their body. All of a sudden, Or perhaps Rose just hadn't known. For some time, the Japanese region of City 23 had started relying completely on Chinatown distribution. Perhaps Rose's policy of prioritizing countrymen had just been a temporary fad.
Right now, if Chinatown stopped dealing with the Japanese for just 1 week, I could throw you into the depths of chaos.
With a word, the GDS could probably stop all Chinatown distributors from sending goods to City 23. In other words, the next day, all commodities could suddenly disappear from Japanese shopping centers. Even if business owners hurriedly tried to change their suppliers, there'd be no one to go to. Because by that time, the distribution networks run by their countrymen would have withered away. For small and medium businessmen who are barely managing to get by, it would be as terrifying as lifting their heads above the surface of the water to breathe, only to be dragged back down to the bottom again. If they knew the restrictions would end in a week, they might be able to withstand it. However, if it might continue for an uncertain, indefinite period, then all Japanese businessmen would be forced out of business. If that happened, the Japanese colony would go extinct.
If we wanted to, we could go that far. But we don't. If that isn't because of the love we feel for Japan, a child who inherited our culture, then why would we act that way?
There, Wang paused and sipped at his cold soup. However, he quickly made a face and spat out into his handkerchief.
Soup is delicious because it's hot. When it cools down, it isn't worth drinking. However, that doesn't change the fact that it's a waste to throw it away. After all, it's a collaboration between the splendid cooking techniques our people have honed for 1,000 years and the splendid ingredients that come from your land. This soup that's made out of you and us. What do you say about eating it up again? If that happens, the two of us will be able to share the deliciousness of this soup together. That sounds like a win-win, happy deal to me.
Assuming we show respect for the GDS. Right?
Yep. The conditions are just as I said before. Return the wages of the Japanese labor union to the level they were at until last year. And offer 30% of the special office windows to us.
And in exchange, you say you'll give us the same lifestyle we've had until now.
No, I can promise an even better one than you've had before. As an area under American military strict jurisdiction, C-23 may be overflowing with made in USA. But that doesn't fit the needs of the Japanese. They start driving their big cars in this cramped Tokyo, and first of all, the streets are too narrow and must be made wider. They aren't the people who'd ever consider making their cars smaller. Westerners cannot understand Asia. That's why you can accept made in China. We understand that it always takes spoiled carrots with agricultural chemicals for 70 cents over fresh carrots for $1. Leave it to us. We'll offer you waves of mass-produced poison vegetables filled with residual chemicals at the incredibly cheap prices you love.
Damn.
We're far too nervous to eat those ourselves. But since the Japanese prefer things that are even a cent cheaper, I'm sure they'll be happy.
He was definitely mocking them, but Rose couldn't fight back. It was a perfectly fitting analogy for the Japanese, who had happily sold off the real soy sauce made by those in the soy sauce industry. Sold it off for spare change that they used to buy fake soy sauce. Oh my god. By now, the Japanese didn't even have a culture that paid for things according to their quality. Fools who can't understand how price matches up to worth don't deserve to buy the real thing. They happily buy cheap, inferior, mass-produced products, trading away from the real thing just because it's relatively expensive. Claudia may have been right. If a Japanese person these days was offered pig feed they could eat for $1, they'd probably get excited how cheap it was and lap it up.
Has this incident left you disgusted at the Japanese' true nature, Madame Rose? We are more capable than you of providing them with the lifestyle they deserve right now. The city will be filled with products, and prices will drop. Since they don't think about quality, they will probably greet it with applause, thinking, "This is the lifestyle I wanted." Haven't you grown tired? Can't you just leave the rest to me?
If Japanese businesses were swallowed up by cheap, mass-produced, made in China goods, they'd go extinct in City 23. All of their countrymen would become mere consumers who simply bought at the asking price. If that happened, they'd become less and less able to disobey the GDS. Practically speaking, the city would be ruled by the GS even more than it was now. However, if they rejected their subordination, Wang would further strengthen his economic attacks and would probably consume the whole city not just the soy sauce. It was no longer possible to preserve the Japanese colony. And yet, if they surrendered, they'd be gradually turned into pets until they died. It was exactly the same as war. You threaten neighboring countries with military force and make them surrender. If they resist, war breaks out, and strong devour the weak. It was the endless repeating of this activity of humanity which led to the map of the world we see today. And even that world map isn't ours set in stone. Bargaining over the balance of power continues to this day. The world map we're all familiar with might not remain the same, even just a decade from now. Even that island, which we learned was part of our country in school, which was once painted the same color as our country. In just a few years, the island might be known by both names for two countries call it. A few years after that, it might be painted the color of another country. I'm not trying to make a point about which country that island belongs to. The point is that even without war, an island or two can easily change countries. Japan has been only able to remain Japan as today because the oceans all around it have protected it from outside enemies. Now that methods of easily crossing the seas have been invented, there's absolutely no guarantee that Japan will be able to remain Japan. In such an era, the Japanese, who have become people of not a nation defeated in war, may only be able to try and remain Japanese by resisting the gears of history.
If matters progress at their current rate, then even as they are left as they are, you will be ruled by us. There are people who took the real soy sauce, which you got from them after much effort, and exchanged it for cheap fake soy sauce. And it didn't even take that long. If you still want to protect them, then turn you start by repairing a relationship with us as quickly as possible.
Oh boy. You may be right. Maybe the Japanese lost their identity, their desire to remain Japanese long ago. There's a proverb stating that only when basic needs are met can people spare decorum. In other words, unless they have the margin in their daily lives, people has no interest in culture.
Poverty brings simplicity. The poor aren't qualified as a choice, a culture. However, there's still a chance for them to gain the necessary qualifications. If you show respect for us, you'll be able to protect the Japanese communities, which are the final support for your people.
for as long as we maintain our respect for you. Dang.
Of course, right. The Japanese may have forgotten it, but there are small countries all over the world for to do the same. And despite the vast number of small countries in the world, they're all still able to maintain their independence. That's because their respect has been accepted by large countries, and they've been allowed to exist. That's merely something Japan will have to remember after all these centuries, including its period of isolation. It's the common sense of this world. Are you okay? You look a little pale. You haven't started feeling in your chest yet, lady, have you?
Don't worry about it.
Go back. Have a nice long discussion with Richard. If you can't get the Primavera leaders to agree, please come and talk to me. If you choose to be friends with us, there are ways in which we could assist you.
Practically speaking, today's meeting was an ultimatum. Yeah, seriously. If you don't surrender to the GDS, the city might be overwhelmed at any time. The poor Japanese couldn't fight back against overwhelming economic power and overabundant physical resources. If the act of demanding that Rose make a decision wasn't an act of mercy on their part, then what was it? Even so, Wang didn't try to rush Rose into surrendering. Surely this was the dignity of a large country, of a king. The most Rose could do was postpone her answer further. The negotiations were already over. She was merely being asked to sign the documents of surrender. Damn. She was concerned with what would become of her convictions after surrendering, and she ought to surrender as soon as possible. During the car ride home, the nighttime scenery was reflected in Rose's tired eyes. Nighttime scenery is people's culture. How could they stand against the economic power of the ones who created such an overwhelming city? Japan had only managed to exist because it was protected by oceans. Now the people had come pouring in over the oceans. The Japanese had no way to resist. After all, for centuries they had refused to build up their strength to resist. They had even refused to strengthen their character through hard effort. Even their victories in war had been thanks to their first surprise attack and their momentum. Even if the great disaster never happened, were her people fated to be defeated and destroyed? How? foolish and weak we are. How foolish and weak we are. Chapter 5, The Assassin End. Well, I guess we're gonna go into a little bit into chapter 6 here. I wonder how many chapters there are overall remaining in Arc 2. I'll just make a save as I am wont to do. And we'll continue. Oh, hold on 1 second. If anyone could tell me how many more chapters there are, how many chapters overall there are in the second arc of Rose Gun's Days. I will be right back. Just 1 second. I'm so sorry. I need to check something. Two more chapters from this arc, including that includes chapter 6, right? Oh wow! All right, that's really cool. So it looks like we will probably get almost there right around the time Tales of Arise releases. Oh wow! So yeah, we're probably gonna at least finish chapter 6 by the time Tales of Arise releases, because it releases a week from Sunday. Well, it releases a week from Saturday in Australia, so the first time I'll be able to play it is next Sunday. Which is super interesting. So, if I do some longer Rose Gun Stay streams a bit later, just to make sure it finishes up. Like next time, I imagine we might just very well get into chapter 7. Anyway, let's get back to the story.
This is the place where your father is being held.
Meiju pointed at a spot on the map spread out on the table. Father is here.
That's smack dab in the middle of C22.
Looks like a pretty huge building. Oh god, this is gonna be a real Metal Gear Solid thing.
As far as public appearances go, it is a members-only high-class restaurant.
Seriously, Rose is just... I can't imagine Rose's mental state in this leg. Because one thing that separates this arc from the previous one, Mystery Theater, is that unlike in the previous, we don't really see Rose like let her guard down, let the walls come down like she did with Leo. She's always in her super professional business mode in this arc, whereas previously she always got personal and was like, you know, always admitting like what she felt personally. I wonder how she would feel. I wonder if she would open up again, at least to the audience, when Leo comes back. I imagine that the, you know, season 3, whatever it's called, you know, part 3 out of 4 of Rose Gun's Days, which it was split so weirdly. I'll probably end with a teaser about Leo coming back.
As far as public appearances go, it's a members-only high-class restaurant.
It was Wang's prized castle, the one Rose had been invited to. This place was Wang Yuanhong's castle, his main base, and also his treasure box. Zell's father was being kept under tight guard in this massive treasure box. I imagine Chapter 6 is all about rescuing the father, and Chapter 7 is the final showdown with Wang.
You say it's a restaurant as far as public appearances go. So what is it behind the scenes?
It is being used as a storehouse for Wang Yuanhong's business. He has profited greatly as an agent for smuggled goods. Weapons, ammunition, drugs, and weapons. If it will sell for money, he doesn't care whether it's organic or inorganic. What a scumbag. So the restaurant part is just its public face.
The massive open area in the restaurant's main hall formed a cone going 5 floors above the ground. So in that 5-floor section, the floors had large gaps in them, and the rooms were set up in a complicated arrangement.
In practical terms, this 5-floor section is Wang Yuanhong's treasure house. The money and goods he's accumulated are kept here, along with the many treasures he's gathered.
And that's where Zell's father is too?
In this room.
Meiju pointed to a spot on a diagram. There was a room in the 5th floor treasure vault. That was where Zell's father, Ryukishi, was being held. Ooh. In Brisbane, there's a Burger King that's 2 stories. And it's across from a street of McDonald's that is 1 story, but it's on the 2nd floor and it's huge in the middle of the city. That Burger King used to have a basement level too, but they sealed it off for whatever reason. It's a really cool place, unfortunately. I really liked when they had the basement level open of that Burger King in Brisbane because, I don't know, it's just really comfy. It's like totally a safe with no windows.
The walls look thick too. Charles, can you still pick locks?
Haven't done that in forever. Depends on the type of lock too, so I can't make any promises. That GDS leader couldn't use a cheap lock to protect his prized treasure. What is your lock-picking skill at?
60, 70.
Oh, excellent. That should be no problem, as long as you have enough lockpicks. How many do you have, Charles?
Like 5.
Oh, fuck berries. We'll probably have to go in with a frontal attack.
Of course, the key is of a special make. It is made in a design that is particularly hard to copy. It is the only one of its kind in the world. And of course, Wang keeps the key safe in his shirt pocket day and night, with extraordinary zeal.
Oh yeah, the keyblade here. It was the key he had handed to Rose when showing off his trick lock. Oh. That was the master key to Wang's treasure house. In addition to the drink cabinet, the doors to all the rooms holding his treasure could only be opened with this key. Then we've got this! Charlie's fingers can manage that, no sweat!
If there's a chance to get close to him, I'll have to pull it off. Pickpocketing skill don't fail me now. Fucking has 90% chance maximum my ass.
Shaolan is saying that if you're thinking of picking his pocket, you had best give up on it.
What do you mean? Earlier on the street, I once saw a pickpocket go after Wang's shirt pocket and watch Wang drive the person off. So he's really cautious. It's the key to his precious treasure after all. He might be very aware of its presence all the time. Zell told Charles about this. Charles immediately understood that this wouldn't be an easy opponent and folded his arms.
So there exist people whom even your skills can't defeat.
Well, yeah. Please watch carefully before deciding whether a target's pickable or not. But some of the time, you get people who have no holes no matter how you work it. It happens a lot for greedy-looking miserly types.
Oh, yes, Wang would certainly fit into that category.
Okay, got it. So people who think about their wallets all the time don't let their wallets go unguarded. In other words, it'd be hard even for Charles to steal the key from Wang's shirt pocket.
Impossible, probably. Not when the key's in a shirt pocket.
And there's also that device. What device?
That foolish device of Wang Yun Hong's.
On all the doors holding his treasure, Wang had attached a strange device, which made it possible to unlock them only while his clocks were chiming. Next time. Looks like we're gonna have Zell's 11 here. A major heist. I love heist stories. That's gonna be so amazing next time. I can't wait. On all the doors holding his treasure, Wang had attached a strange device which made it possible to unlock them only while his clocks were chiming. Dang. It wasn't just the drink cabinet in the restaurant that did this. All the doors holding his treasure and hostages functioned the same way.
What the hell? What a crazy contraption.
That's not all. The location's bad. He's being held on the 5th freaking floor. Sacre bleu. If there's even a slight commotion, we'll be trapped like rats. We've got to work quietly from start to finish.
We wouldn't be able to get out alive.
So, using force won't help. Dang it, that's all I'm good for.
For a while, they all fell silent, staring at the diagram. Let's summarize the important points. First, the key. Without this, it'll be impossible to pull off a rescue.
It'll be impossible unless we have a chance to snatch the key.
It's not like people can be perfect 24 hours a day. I'm sure we'll let his guard down sooner or later.
The next problem is the cloak device.
Yes. Even if we succeed in stealing the key, we won't be able to stage a rescue until the clock's chime.
I'd rather not take up too much time. It doesn't take long for greedy people to notice they've been pickpocketed.
How long will it take him to notice?
Even if he doesn't notice the moment he gets pickpocketed, he realizes his pocket feels cold just a few seconds later at worst.
What the heck? Then we're stuck! Even if we snatch it, there's a chance we'll figure it out within a minute.
Oh, I do.
Wait, I got it voiced. What if we do this Indiana Jones style? You know, make a fake key. We saw what it looked like, right? Let's make a fake one to swap it with.
It'd be impossible to wait for the clock to chime at that rate.
Even though just stealing the key from Wang's pocket would be difficult, then they had to face the second hurdle of the clocks chiming. And those aren't the only problems. How are we going to sneak into a members-only restaurant in the first place? Going by its layout, it's probably safe to say that it's impossible to sneak in without anyone noticing.
It's completely different from sneaking into storehouses like we've done until now.
It's a members-only restaurant, right? What if Meiju-san makes us members? They had the backing of Meiju, a leading member within the GDS. Are they gonna get disguises and fake names? It should have been a good idea. However, Meiju smiled grimly. So did Zell. If it's a high-class members-only restaurant, I'd imagine most of their customers are older and more plump than we are.
It's not like we could look rich just by dressing up a little. My apologies.
My apologies. I asked that you propose a different strategy.
Think. I am not a Pooh Bear, but I must do this. So, we have 3 hurdles. First, why do we steal the key from Wang's shirt pocket?
Second, even if we steal the key, the door won't open until the clocks chime.
Third, how do we even get into the restaurant in the first place?
If they spot us, we're finished. That's the middle of the enemy nest. We won't be able to escape.
We have to work without being found out, all the way until the last second.
That sounds almost amazingly impossible and impossible again!
Still, if we want to rescue Zell's father, we have to give it a shot, right?
Before long, Wang will hear that Hotarubi failed in her assassination attempt on Madame Rose. There is not much time to postpone her father's rescue.
But doing it by force is out of the question. Then what should we do?
It's impossible. I could never do it with just the 4 of us.
Succeeding in doing the impossible? It was made Aniki Wayne and the others legends. I don't want to give up! I swore to be Zell's ally, and I don't want to turn back on that promise!
Charles, thank you. Merci.
That's right. If it's based on a carefully laid plan, then it isn't impossible, but inevitable.
In other words, if we manage to do the impossible, we'll be frickin' legends! Everyone.
If we hadn't met Zell, we'd have died out in the alleys.
It's all thanks to Zell that we've been able to really feel that we're alive.
I'll do it! no matter how reckless the plan is.
We'll achieve the impossible and become legends.
And we'll save Zell's, our comrade's father. Everyone, thank you. Mountain dogs forever. Wandering dogs, sorry. God damn it.
She was fortunate to be graced with such reliable comrades.
I'm fortunate too. Aw, she's like his daughter.
Why, thank you. But the mooncake I just gave you was the last one.
Ah. Don't eat too many mooncakes, you'll get fat. You won't be able to be a ninja. Mooncakes are super sugary.
We put our lives on the line. The wandering dogs have gathered. We have a map and information. But damn it, we don't have a plan.
Shh. Be quiet. Zell was staring at the open map. This would be her first and last chance to rescue her father. Like Oliver had said, she had comrades and maps and information. If she let this chance slip, another one would never come again. Meiju-san, I have a few questions for you.
Go ahead.
What's the symbol on the plan for the building?
It indicates a place locked by the clock timing device I described earlier.
So, this is another one of Wang Hong's treasure boxes. Zell shot questions at Meiju in rapid succession. They're about all kinds of things, some apparently meaningless and some that were surprising. However, they all became pieces that were joined, one by one, inside Zell's head. A brain blast! Yes, brain blast! With her eyes still open wide, Zell punched the plans. She hadn't punched out of irritation at this impossible scheme. Some sort of miraculous plan had formed inside her head. Zell thought over and over again about whether the plan was realistic, walking around in quick circles. Oliver and the others fell silent, working hard not to interrupt Zell's thinking. Eventually, Zell stopped suddenly. I've got it!
Oh?
Awesome, Zell! What kind of plan is it?
If all of us use all our power, we have a chance. But if any part of it fails in the slightest, we're all dead. We knew that from the beginning. We're ready!
Yes. If it's a plan you made, then it's the best plan for us. We won't get scared. This music is really badass. Go beyond the impossible.
So what kind of plan is it?
We need to gather as much information as we can before I get to the details. But to put it simply, as Zell wrote symbols on the floor plans with a pencil, she explained her outrageous strategy. It really was outrageous. And at the same time, it would have been completely impossible for anyone but the wandering dogs. Woo! Oliver and the others were stunned. The silence was finally broken when Meiju gave a muffled laugh.
Now that is interesting. Yes, it is a strategy that no one but you could accomplish.
Oh my god, are they gonna pretend sneak in as a band? Meiju-san, I'd like to ask for your support for this part here. You're the only person I can ask. Please lend us your aid.
Understood. This will be interesting. Leave it to me.
Now, we just need someone to be the Lord. Our drill will be the drill that pierces the heavens. If we can find someone for that. Well, what are you talking about? There's only one person who could do that. Huh?
You're the only person who could do that job.
Oliver and the others grinned at each other and looked at Zell and smiled again. Me? What? How? What do you mean, how? You just need to act the part as you laid it out.
This keeps getting more and more interesting.
Huh? Xiaolan, the only person who didn't understand Japanese, had no idea how the plan would work, and she cocked her head to the side in confusion. She asked Meiju what sort of plan it was, but he implicitly laughed and refused to tell her. Starting that day, the wandering dogs would put everything on that plan. What they needed was courage and intensive training. Those were everything.
Time for training!
Damn it. Oh, it's always when I click between the cards. Always.
Ha! Time for me to work on my marksmanship. There we go. More. Time to put the guns in Rose Gun's days.
Oh wow, he looks badass with a gun.
Yeah, rogues can't rely on melee all the time. Rest in peace. Time to go.
I'm hitting it more, aren't I?
That's weird! I'm aiming right, but it never hits!
Charles, your finger's pulling too hard. It doesn't shoot stronger just because you pull the trigger harder.
Gah, I just can't stop thinking of it that way.
The trigger has nothing to do with power. You ought to stay cool when you pull it, just like Aniki Wayne said.
And Oliver, you're wasting too much time trying to look cool when you shoot.
Go!
Stop breaking your form by trying to act like a know-it-all, and devote yourself to practicing the basics. If you try and shoot all weird again, I'll get angry. You don't want me to get angry, do you? Then we won't go out on a date later.
Oh, okay. Right, basics.
It's true that just holding a gun can pressure your opponent. What if they see your unfamiliar visit? That defeats the whole purpose. For now, just quietly and faithfully practice the basics. If you do, then just holding up your gun will give you power. With a practiced motion, Cell loaded her bullets and readied her gun with a beautiful posture that looked like a form of etiquette. Now, about your master. I will show you why they call me a master assassin.
Allons-y! Damn, she's so cool.
KO, baby.
They all hit! Ah!
I bet Xiaolan is saying like, good job or something like that.
Well done, as expected. There is that rumor of how you massacred all the leaders of an enemy organization. At our dinner party with just one handgun.
Damn! Oh, Xiaolan said, beautiful. Holy shit! Damn! Zell is an assassin rogue. Holy shit. Oh my god. Yeah, well, freaking Charles is a trickster rogue, but Zell is a fucking assassin rogue. Holy shit. My god. Yeah, oh my god, it's Mr. Shoot, that's right. Zell is the Leo to the Wandering Dog's Rose. Wow.
Hota Ruby, the legendary assassin, huh?
Shh, don't say that! I don't mind. It's just something I learned to survive.
Why do you have to act so cool?
There are techniques I didn't learn willingly, but I'm grateful for them now. After all, they'll be useful for saving Father. Goddamn, I didn't know there was gonna be another action sequence that surprised me. Fuck, jeez. KO, baby. Watch the master.
We better not fall behind.
Until now, I've wanted to become a cool man like Aniki Wayne.
Is that why you try so hard to look cool when you shout?
Starting now, I won't be like that. I'd rather be a wandering dog than a cool guy.
Character development! With an expression of renewed determination, Oliver held his gun with the neat posture that Zella taught him. Gunfights are brawls, so who cares about form? That was the assumption he had to throw away.
I'm the same. We're the 4 wandering dogs.
Don't put too much force in your fingers. Don't try to shoot. Try to pickpocket the enemy with the trigger.
Huh, I like the sound of that. I'm starting to get hooked to the feel of a gun. Now it's my turn.
Damn it.
KO.
The wandering dogs hadn't received permission from Wayne to carry guns. However, after careful thinking, Zella decided that they should break the rule and take guns. Of course, it wasn't to shoot with. It was to protect themselves. Well, I mean, they would have to shoot to... Make sure you don't misunderstand, everyone. We're training so we can get used to guns, not so we can fight with them.
I know. So we can use them as a bluff if things get sticky, right?
Even as a bluff, it'd still be pretty pathetic if we don't practice.
The same as it had been before now. We'll sneak in and break out without anyone finding out.
Victory without pulling the trigger is the best sort of victory for us. Gotta get that stealth bonus.
That's right. Strategy would take place in the center of enemy territory. In other words, it was like diving into the enemy's stomach. They weren't genius guns like the legendary 7, including Leo. If they got into a gunfight, they would be up against many tough GDS men who returned from the front lines. It could only possibly end with the wandering dogs riddled with holes. So they were learning about guns to help them escape. If the worst happened and they failed in their rescue attempt and there was a commotion, this would give them a little extra push in their escape. The 3 of them quietly continued to fire. Every now and then a strict instruction would come flying from Zell, and the other 2 would listen to it meekly. This repeated over and over.
Will you not practice, miss?
I tried it a bit, but it looks like guns don't suit my hands. Anyway, I got this. Oh, an amusing weapon. Time for my turn. We need to be silent with the projectile. Just look at me. There we go. I'm no slouch when it comes to this either. Ha! KO! How do you like them apples?
Now that is a surprise. Your aim is better than those boys with their guns over there.
But the Chinese ain't the only ones that can perform skillful feats.
Oh ho! In that case, we must not be outdone.
I don't know what he said, but Shaolin nodded silently, then walked up to the shooting booth. Oh. He said,
Shaolin, why don't you show them your techniques?
she's gonna be like their ace in the hole, isn't she?
Shaolin may not match up to your technique, but she does possess defensive talents of her own.
Oh! Shaolin-chan! Guess you're pretty awesome for a shrimp. She didn't understand the words, but she apparently realized that she was being made fun of. Shaolin looked irritated for a second, then removed her coat. Now it's my turn. God damn it, I accidentally clicked off the screen. Ha! Flying knives. Let's go! Nobody can match my speed. Ha. KO. Is that good, Meiju-san?
Oh, yes.
Whoa! Whoa! What the heck was that? What kind of self-defense art is that? The target's totally skewered! Whoa! Don't take me for a fool, Japanese, is what she said.
She may not look it, but Shaolin has mastered some of my assassination techniques. She could eliminate 2 or 3 men in an instant.
I better not slack off! Practice, practice, practice! With a look that says, don't make fun of me again, Shaolin stuck her tongue out from behind Meiju's back. Anxious not to fall behind, Nina hurried to start practicing with her slingshot. Meiju gazed at this amusing scene. Meiju-sama, why are they practicing with guns? It's not as if preparing at the last minute will help them.
I imagine Otorubi knows that as well. This is probably some sort of ceremony. Think of it as confidence boosting.
Maybe in the last arc, Mystery Theater. I'd imagine that.
Surely it is a ceremony for them to master the resolve and courage needed to train themselves to something they've never experienced. And most importantly, I doubt those vigorous boys would be satisfied going in unarmed, simply because they didn't stand a chance in a fight.
I see.
Hey, Zao. I wonder if Aniki Wayne and the others trained here when they were hiding in the restaurant.
Yeah, they did. I wonder. Did say Meiju-san?
Ah, that takes me back. When Rose-san was in hiding and I tried to kill her that one time.
What?
Ah, nothing. Never mind. Just a Chinese expression. She polished her gun shooting skills in here in order to defeat Caleb, and totally fake out the audience into thinking that he was dead.
In other words, wait, son told Madame Rose how to shoot here?
Awesome. We're training in the same place the legendary 7 trained.
We can't lose. Let's train thoroughly here and become the legendary 4.
Whoa! We're gonna be like Aniki Wayne!
I thought you and Cyrus taught Rose how to shoot.
At the time, I believe Wayne was... Well, he was the comic relief side character, but...
He was being held down by you and worked hard by Cyrus.
Well,
that was a lovely scene. Okay, you guys. This is getting really, really hype. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh my god. Yeah, I really think, yep. Next, it's time for Zell's 4. As they try to make it the heist of a century on Wang Yuanhong's palace and get her father back. Oh my god, it's so cool. Ending up with a heist in the end. Seriously, heists are probably one of my all-time favorite plot lines to use, like, within a story. I don't know, because I love how intricate they are and, like, as the characters use, like, their abilities in creative ways. And just, like the whole setup of, like, a plan coming together. I don't know. I am really psyched for this. So, I can't wait until next time, and it looks like we may as well, we have a small chance of actually finishing this arc before Tales of Arise comes out, which would be really great because that means I don't have to swap back and forth between Rose Gun Days and Remember 11 that too much. So yeah, just to remind everybody, I know the after the end of Arc 2, after the end of Arc 2, Rose Gun Days will go on a bit of hiatus, and it'll be Remember 11 and Tales of Arise, and then when Remember 11 ends, Tales of Arise, when Remember 11 ends, I will come back and finish the final arc of Rose Gun Days. Alright, you guys, so next time will be Remember 11 on tomorrow, actually. So until then, I will say, and this will continue on Sunday. So until then, I will say, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You are all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.